Thank you guys for coming in. As you're coming in tonight, we're talking to Evan from Evan's Woodshop because Evan is awesome. He's my guy.
Everybody.
So we're going to talk to Evan. We're going to ask him questions. You guys, again, remember that you are always. I like the questions. You help keep the conversation going. So we're going to start off with a nice, simple question. Always my first one to everyone. Evan, you're 17 years old, so it's kind of weird to ask this question, dude. What's your origin story?
So my origin story started a long time ago when I was like 2, 3 years old in my grandfather's workshop. He's a hobby woodworker, and he's the one who got me into the woodworking.
Okay.
And I used to go down, watch him make, watch him build, and I was just fascinated. And he got me going on the hand tools, which is why I'm so big into hand tools now, and also the power tools. I'm more of a hybrid woodworker. But from there, I started building stuff with him, and then when I was like 9, 10, I asked my friends for a drill for my birthday,
That's a good
like
birthday present.
Home Depot gift cards, so that I could get my own power tool. And I got a drill, and then I built a go-kart with that drill, powered by that drill, and the rest is kind of history. Now I am where I am now. And if you were to ask me like a couple years ago, where would you be now? I'd be like, I have no clue. But I'd be like, I wouldn't believe you if you said I'd be here where I am today.
It's crazy. So first, and I have to say this when my daughter pops in. Hi, sweetie. I love you. My college age daughter, who's older than you. I'm used to her being younger, but you know. And then we got a couple people. Hi, Joe. Hi, Tony. Hi, Vanessa. So I can't imagine it. Right? Listen, 9, 10 years old, asking for gift cards at Home Depot. That's what I
Oh
ask for
yeah.
now. Right? And for everyone who's out there, my next week, I won't have live next week because next Thursday is my 52nd birthday, and I am a size 50 gift card from Home Depot. Uh, so so that's a great present, and I mean a great thing to ask. I love. So what's your grandfather make?
He was just big into just like building random stuff. Like he actually built the dresser in my actually can't even see it, but it's in the back over there. But he built the dresser in my room. He made stuff for everybody in the family. But he's really talented as well.
So he's still making stuff though.
Not as much. He hasn't been in the garage. I'm not the garage, but the basement in a while. But
You got to
they were
get him
actually
in
over
there.
today. I got him into my garage today.
Yeah,
I was showing
good.
him the
You know,
CNC.
nice. He must have enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty cool.
Sam, I can't DIY Huntress.
Yeah, of course.
Um, yeah, it was she and her husband, her dad did the build off at Total Boat. You and your grandfather have to do that,
Yeah, we should. We should.
right? How cool would that be?
It would be really cool.
All right, so you're 9, 10 years old. You're asking your friends for gift cards, and you wanted a drill. What was the first thing you made with it?
That go-kart. It was just like a silly little go-kart made out of like a 2x4 and like a plastic chair and like some threaded um rods with some
Yeah.
wheels I bought on Amazon. Trust me, it was not very visually appealing whatsoever, but that was like the first big project. That's what really got me into the other stuff,
Well, it doesn't
into
need to
more of
be
the
a big
woodworking.
project. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a big project. It's all about having fun and learning from it, right?
And it worked. And that was most important. Not how it looked, but it worked. So that was
So
that was big.
so you go and you start building this stuff. Now, let's move forward here a little bit because like you said, you can't imagine where you are now. You have gone to all these different shows. You've gone to Makers Camp, you've gone to Workbench Con, all these different things. How do you go from building a go-kart to wanting to go to these and being a big part of it? And I think actually, let's start off with this. You just won an award at this past Workbench Con.
I did. I was not expecting that whatsoever, to the point where I was literally eating my Chipotle bowl in the room, and my dad calls me. He's like, "Get down here. I think you're getting something." I was like, "What? No way." So I ran down, and I got the inspiration award, which is huge, which means so much to me. It was
I
awesome.
mean,
I keep it in my room too. It's back behind me. But
that's amazing. Like, okay, so what is the Inspiration Award?
um it's basically like the award where people can vote. Like people, there's like a little ballot box. People could vote like who should get it. And it's like it's just about like, somebody that like inspires others, I guess you could put it. Well, hence the name Inspiration Award. But
Yeah.
the
Well, that's
way,
nice.
yeah, it was really cool. I was like blown away when I got it. So
That's I listen. I'm excited for you because I just think that's cool, and I know how
you
many
missed
great
it.
people are there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know, dude.
Don't gotta
You
tell you
keep picking on
twice.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Uh,
everybody else has been picking on you too for not being there, but
I did. You know what? I heard from a lot of people who said, yeah, they missed me, but there was also a lot of people that I talked to who were like, yeah, we couldn't go either, and
yeah,
it
no,
was kind
it
of
was very
weird.
quiet this year. It's very different, but nonetheless, we still had a lot of fun.
Well, that's I mean that's really what it's all about. What classes did you take while you were there?
To be honest with you, I didn't do any of the classes. I just I just went to go see everybody, hang with everybody, and just talk
All right.
shop.
So
Yeah.
all right. There's my buddy Matt here, the
Also,
accidental wood.
sorry to everybody because my voice is off. I'm recovering from a cold, so that's why my
Um,
voice is soft.
you've got a couple over on Instagram. You're amazing, Evan. And I
Thank
first
you.
heard of Evan on a recent Sawdust Talk episode. What an amazing guy! So nice stuff. You're an inspiration to other people. So let's take a step back now. One of the things that's really cool is you're doing all this charity stuff. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's a big
And
part of what I do.
right, I want to talk about that, and I want to sort of lead it into some of the things that you've done, how you've built them, and what the what your inspiration is. So let's start with that. Talk to me about the charity work.
So when I started Evan's Workshop when I was 10, my parents, they said to me like, you should pick something to give back to along the way, with your journey. And it might not be much, but just it's just a nice thing to do to give back to others in need. So when I heard that, I picked Sick Kids Foundation, which is a children's hospital in Toronto, which is where I'm located. And I've been donating 10% of my sales since I started Evan's Workshop. And on top of that, I do a couple times a year, I do these things called um, like my give back projects where like I make things, I team up with like people, my mentors, and we build things and we auction them off for sick kids. And to date, from when I started Evan's Workshop to now, I've raised over $20,000 for sick kids, which is just amazing.
Dude, that's incredible. Like it really is. Um, and I know that Alabama Papa Chad bought one of them.
He did. And, just recently I did a give back project um, for two Mongolia wood cookies, like end tables, that Papa Chad gave me the wood for at Maker's Camp. So it's like,
I
well,
saw that. I remember. I remember that. That's pretty cool.
so that was pretty recent. And yeah, we raised, some more money for sick kids. So every dollar helps.
Yeah. Well, all right. So talk to me about the designs for these pieces. Like, how do you come up with? So the cookies kind of easy, right? You look
Yeah,
at
pretty
that.
self-explanatory. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then my buddy Rob from Concept 13 donated the wood for to make the bases for those. And that was one give back project. And another one, like I've done numerous of them. I've done, so many. And I'm really happy to say that I have done so many because I love doing them. I love helping out, and I just think it's a great thing. But I've also done like a Sam Malouf like guitar pick stool. Me and my buddy Paul, he's my mentor from Canadian Woodworks. We built the stool, and that one's one that Papa Chad got.
Okay. That's a cool one.
So
I like that one a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that
That
was
was
that was a really nice stool. The Coca Cola legs and the curly maple seat. It was a great project too because it was a great learning experience. And I also did another one a little while back with Paul again. It was a Sam Maloof like end table with a nice Sam Maloof base and you know an epoxy circular top, and that was also just stunning.
you're doing a lot with epoxy.
Yeah, no, I've been using it a lot recently, and especially with the blackjack table I just made.
Yeah.
That's a lot of epoxy right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that blackjack table is awesome. For
Thank you.
anyone who hasn't seen it, well, just explain it. Like anybody who hasn't seen it.
So, you know, Me and my friends. So I like my projects that I make for myself. They, you know, they go around like what I'm into. So now me and my friends we play cards on the weekend. So it's like, yeah, I'll just build a blackjack table, why not? But I wanted to have like my own sort of twist on it, something I've never seen done before. So I decided to make like an epoxy slab top with like casino items like casted inside of the epoxy and polish it up and it turned out really nice. And for the base, I did like these walnut strips that were like curved, each one of them. There's like over 70 of them. And it took me a long time to make that table, but by far one of my favorite projects. Because it just turned
Oh,
out so well. And it gets used all the time because my friends they come over and we play. So and
that's awesome.
one project that I'm making right now, it's not even on Instagram yet. Actually, there's a little teaser post on my story, but um I haven't posted any reels about it yet. I'm making a poker table now.
How's that different from the blackjack table?
This is like, poker table is just like it's like more like rectangular with like, curved sides and cup holders. Like this is just like it's just like a real poker table. Like one like you would
Nice.
find in like a casino almost. Minus a couple things like I didn't want a dealer cutout or a chip tray, but it's cool. And I got a custom felt for it with my logo on it. So it's really cool.
No,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's going to be super cool. I can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You know, I was working on that like all day today after school, pretty much until I had to go do this live. But I'll finish that up tomorrow. I started it yesterday, but
Well, that started yesterday. Well, that brings up a good question though, because you are doing a lot of work, and let's talk about two things here: school life balance, right? I
yeah,
know, I know how much work has to go into school. You're in 11th grade now,
yep.
right? So how are you at balancing?
Well, let me tell you, it's impossible to balance everything I do. School, homework, friends, woodworking, social media. Like it's a lot. It's impossible. And it takes a village. It really does. Like my parents, they help me out. Get like my content out, but it's tricky to balance everything. It really is. And especially,
What
busy with school, busy in the garage. Like it's a lot to deal with. But I love it, so I make it work.
what do you call your mom?
My momager.
There it is. I always love that. Makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's tough to balance everything. Do you find that there are times when you're like, okay, I gotta push the woodwork aside, or there are times when you're like, mom and dad, I need a mental health day for the wood shop.
No, I'm always in the garage. Like, whenever I'm not in the garage, just because I have nothing going on in the garage, I don't have any projects going on, don't have anything, but I'm usually always trying to get out there.
All right, I can understand that. Hamilton Dilbeck joins, so that means we got to stop talking about CNCs, um, or we should start talking about them. Actually, for a second, let's do that because there's two things I want to talk about. Um, what type of CNC do you have? I know that you have one.
Yeah, I have the Onefinity Woodworker,
Okay.
and I actually just used it today. So
Yeah. Well, I love the
I've
one of my favorite projects you did. Actually, I remember now that you have that is the Rolex.
right there,
Dude, that is sick. That is just killer.
right above my desk. Yeah, it's still going, still works.
So talk about your inspiration for that.
Another something I'm into is watches, and I can't buy a real Rolex yet, so why not build a clock? I have a laser, I have a CNC, boom. So that was kind of the inspiration for that, and it was a really fun project. It really was. It's just very tedious because I made it out of MDF, and MDF just sucks up paint.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy, but it looks really cool on my wall.
I do hate trying to paint MDF.
It's the worst.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to ask about as we're at this school work balance thing, um, I know that you were taking some classes at school. Are you taking
Yep.
woodworking?
I am. So last semester, so in order to do grade 11 woodworking, I need to do the grade 10, but I never did the grade 10 woodworking. So I took the grade 10 and grade 11 first semester. Now, second semester, I take the grade 11. So I'm taking it all year, which is good because I like it. Like right now in
Awesome.
woodshop class, I'm making a hand cut dovetail box. and it's a really
Wow.
cool project. It's coming along. It's almost done, but it's been fun.
Talk about, because I'm curious here. First of all, how's your teacher feel about you in there, and like, what's that
I know
like?
my
Is
teacher
it
likes me.
well, yeah. So here's the thing. I remember going to my kids' school. They had a wood shop, and my son was actually not behaving in there. And I went into the wood shop and I looked around and I realized they had less tools and not even as nice tools as I had, and he had access to at home. And I talked to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm bored in there, right?"
Yeah, makes sense. Like, now that in the grade 11 class, like you can pick what you want to build, but in the grade 10 class, like you had to build whatever the teacher told you to build. So I was building like a little airplane or a bowl, things, that weren't like, it wasn't like, it just wasn't that exciting to me. But this semester, I'm enjoying it a lot more because I can pick what I want to do and I can really challenge myself.
Right.
Because
Well,
when I
and
challenge, what, yes, sorry, go on.
no, I was gonna say one of the that one of the people had said, "Does your teacher give you liberties to make what you want?" And that's what you were saying.
Yeah. So it gives everybody the freedom to build what they want, because like that's like part of the curriculum for the grade 11 woodshop class. It's like you get to pick what you want to build. It's got to
What are
prove it,
other people
obviously,
saying?
but like end grain cutting board. Somebody's making like a little foosball table. Um, just like a bunch of random little things, but it's cool. Everybody's
I
doing
mean,
their own thing pretty much.
yeah, I mean a foosball table. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's like cool. It's many, but and then I'm making my dovetail box.
That's what woods are you using?
So the box is oak, and then the lid is um, book matched mahogany, and then the
Ooh,
bottom panel is plywood, but with oak veneer on it.
that's
I
nice
did the
though.
veneer. Yeah. So that's coming along. It's
The
cool.
the same person said, "Do you teach the teacher?" I mean, that's a valid question. Do you find that there are times when you're talking to the teacher and you're pointing things out to them, and or is it a knowledgeable teacher? Do you feel
No,
comfortable
it's a
learning?
knowledgeable teacher. She's doing it for a long time. She's the department head at the school, so she
Oh,
knows what
nice.
she's doing. But
That's good.
it's good to have somebody that's like similar like level.
So I last year when I was in the woodworking class, I actually had to, like, I was teaching the woodworking teacher some stuff. It just happens occasionally. It's like it's one of those
Yep.
things. There are things that we know that they don't. So talk to me. Favorite woods. I'm curious. What's your favorite wood?
Definitely walnut. I use walnut all the time. Maple, it's close second. Birds
I
on
love
maple is
walnut.
really nice.
You can't go wrong. Good,
Yep.
a good curly maple.
Good curly maple too. I like figured maple, like bird's eye maple,
Yeah.
curly maple, like that's just some nice stuff.
So my
Quilted
favorite
maple is
stuff.
really nice.
My favorite is spalted maple, and
Yeah,
I had a friend of mine at one point. He told me I should call my woodworking page "Spalted Maple and Walnut" because that's my favorite combination.
it's a good combination. I can't go wrong.
No, not at all. So what's your favorite thing to build? And then I want to talk also about your sort of sales, and then I want to talk about what you want to build. So what's
Yeah.
your favorite thing to build?
Like I don't have one thing that's like my favorite thing to build, but like I just like the blackjack table is really fun. The poker table I'm building now is really fun. The boat was my favorite project, if that's kind of what you're getting at.
So well, I mean, I'm thinking about, like, so it sounds to me like you like to make things that you can use and have
Yeah,
fun at home.
yeah. I like
Okay.
bringing all my hobbies together. So
I mean, that always makes everybody happy, right? There's nothing better than
that's
sitting down at a table you've made and hanging out with friends.
yeah, it's great.
So,
And playing poker.
so okay. So next time we'll play, and I'm gonna need some pointers because it's been years since I played. Um,
You got it. I'm playing with a
why
deck of cards right now.
I see that. Can you do tricks with them? Fold them one
And
handed.
no, besides like shuffle them pretty well. Like no.
Um, so what's after the poker table you're making now? What's the next big thing you want to do?
Well, because I now have the poker table, blackjack table, and I have like a little slot machine, I'm turning my old workshop room in the basement, which just has like my laser in it now. I'm gonna turn that into like my own little like card room. So I'm gonna make like some signs for it on the CNC.
Nice.
I already
All right.
designed the files. I put them, they're in the USB already.
That's
But so
nice. What are they? Are they going to say Evans poker? Don't
um,
don't bet the college fund.
one of them is a like a win Las Vegas sign. I wrote them down
Yeah.
on the sticky note, and the other one is like a king playing card,
Oh,
like a big one.
that'll be super cool. That'll be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
because the king, it's a cool card.
Yeah.
It's a cool card. So I think that'll look pretty cool on the wall,
Oh,
but
that'll
much
look
bigger,
amazing.
obviously.
You gonna light it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do some epoxy on there or something. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can
build some
see
signs and then
I can see that with like a LED neon strip around it.
yeah,
Right in the black, right in the black that
yeah, that'd
goes
be
around the
cool.
king, right? That'd be awesome. I can't wait to see that. That'll be a really neat design. So, speaking of all of this, you come up with ideas. How do you design the ideas? What do you do in order to move? So, and I want to preface this with the idea that you and I are of very different generations,
Yeah,
right? So,
even
I'm
though,
curious,
sorry, go
no,
on.
no, no. I'm just curious about your
Yeah,
thinking and how that relates and everything else. So,
well, I might be like one of the least like tech savvy kids because when it comes to designing my projects, it's all in here.
you don't write it
Like,
down? You don't go through and
like,
design it?
like for the poker table, I shoot like a rough sketch, and then I just figured out how long and wide I wanted. Everything else was just in my head.
I you know what?
Like, to be honest with you, I barely draw. Like,
Yeah, I hate to say it. You and I are very similar in that.
that's why I said I'm like the least tech savvy kid for this type of stuff.
I mean,
Because,
yeah, it's easy. You draw it. All right, I know I want it to be this long. I know I want it to be this. Those are the things I think are most important. Knowing the length, height, depth, all that. And once you get that sort
yeah,
of figured out, you can go from there.
yeah. Because I watched enough YouTube videos on how to build a poker table. Like, it's just like in my head what I want. Like, there's gonna be LEDs on it. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
I just can't wait to see it with your custom felt on
Yeah.
there.
It's a custom
So,
Evans Workshop win Las Vegas.
really,
Yeah, I found
have you
somebody
been to
that makes
Vegas?
them. I have not been to Vegas. I want to, but I'm too young.
I mean, you can go to Vegas.
Yeah, but I can't like do
No.
anything like
Well,
you have to be of age for a lot of that.
I'm gonna be in Vegas in I think July for the AWF a something. Now
Yeah.
I forget what it is. Anyway, we'll have to talk to your dad. You have to come down and visit and hang out, and
Oh
and
yeah,
we'll get you in trouble. It'll be a good time. Um,
definitely.
so talk to me about your wood shop because Evan's workshop, and this is a wood shop, woodworking, and uh, talk to me about your shop. What's your favorite tool to use in there? I'm gonna do that
Favorite
first.
tool. My favorite tool, man. I have so many tools in there. Like it's hard to pick a favorite, but maybe the drum sander because I use that for like everything. Like
Yeah.
I would say 95% of the projects I make, they end up going to the drum sander at one point.
What size drum sander is it? Not just out of
I just have
curiosity.
the Laguna 1632. Not the big one, but for what I
So
do,
it's
more than enough.
so we my car died last week and we had to go buy a new car. Actually, right before last week's live, my daughter called me and my car had just stopped, so I had to go pick her up. Friday morning, we found out that the motor was gone, and we're at the dealership, and I'm talking to this guy, very interesting guy. Hey, buddy, Cadence Manufacturing, Cody. Uh, this guy makes fishing nets,
Hmm.
and we were talking about how he takes the thin pieces and makes the net. And it was interesting talking to him because he doesn't have a drum sander; he only has a planer. And my first thought was, man, you need to have a drum sander for that. You cannot be sending those things through a planer.
You know, it's funny. I have both the drum sander and the planer, and I rarely use the planer. I would say like under 2% of my projects go through the planer.
Wow.
Like the last time I used it was for the blackjack table, just milling the little strips of walnut. Other than
Yeah.
that, barely use it because I just don't have a need to. It just for me, I find it easier just to run through the drum sander.
Where do you get most of your wood? Like, I mean, are you going? There's obviously lumber yards and stuff up there,
Yeah, no,
right?
I go to Concept 13, Rob. He's my buddy. He's my mentor. I've been going to him for as long as Evan's workshop's been a thing. I've been shopping with him.
So when you get it, is it like, are you going there and it's S2S, S24? Like, how is it in terms of what you're
Um,
picking up?
I don't really buy like much dimensional stuff. I mostly just get like live edge slabs, and it's surfaced. So
Well, so that's what kills me. You're buying stuff like that. I would think the planer would be like that'd be my first stop breaking down the woods.
it used to be. It used to be before I got the drum sander, but I don't know why. I just find the drum sander just be more convenient and easy to use for me.
So that's fair. I mean, I do like having my drum sander. Um,
Yeah, it's nice. It's a great tool.
it is. It's I think it's underrated. Dude, I got
Definitely.
so I did a video a while back, which still gets me hits and people making comments about the drum sander being. I said, "Oh, is it a game changer to you?" Because I don't consider it a game changer. I just consider it to be useful, and people really got up in arms about that. Still
No, I
unsure.
think it's a game changer because like if I didn't have that in my shop, I don't know what I'd do to be honest with you. But
Well, you'd have the planer.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's just different.
So, what's your definition of a game changer? And again, there's no right or wrong. I'm just talking here. I'm just saying.
Because I know I think like like I just said like 95% of my project go through the drum center at one point. Like if I didn't have it, yes, I'd use the planer more, but I still wouldn't be reaching that 95% of product going through the planer, in my opinion. So I think just numbers wise, I just get way more use out of the drum sander than if I didn't have it. I feel like there'd just be things I wouldn't be able to do.
All right. I mean, see. I'm gonna come to Cody's question in a second. See, for me, like a game changer to me is something that fundamentally changes the way I do something. So, like the Festool Domino to me
Yep.
it's an absolute game changer. Okay,
I'm sure it would
and
be, but I don't have one.
I'm surprised you'll get one. I saved up for that
Yeah.
one. Um,
No, I saved up for the Festool sander and vacuum. That's a game changer, 100%.
I did like mine when I had it. And then I got the Surf Prep. So,
Yeah, I have
it's
the
a
Surf Prep
similar
right now.
idea.
Another game changer.
Yeah. So it's a similar thing. So for me, like the drum sander is, I really like using it, and I see it as a maybe a production game changer, but I don't see
Yeah,
it. Despite Tony said no snipe and less violent on the grain with the drum, and I agree, but
I agree with that
it.
100%.
But I don't see it as a game changer. Like it's not changing what I'm making or how I'm making. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, you're right. You're right there. But I just, in my garage, I feel like without it, I wouldn't be the same.
No, that makes sense. Um, Frank from Silent Mars Workshop says, "What grit do you use the most?"
Probably 120.
I think that's all I
Oh,
keep
wait.
on there.
Wait, are we talking about the drum sander or just
Yeah,
like
yeah. No,
Festool
the drum.
sander? Oh, the drum sander, I keep 80 in there.
Um, See, I think I keep 120 on mine overall. So mine, what sucks about mine, and Cody, I promise I'm coming to you in just a second. Mine's in 1836. So it was this one that they came out with, and I think they still sell it. The problem I have had with it is that the width of the paper is
Yep.
different than the width of every other paper. So instead of 3 inches, it's got to be 3 1/4 to get the correct number of wraps, which is such a pain
Yeah.
in the butt.
Well, I used to buy like the pre-cut stuff, but I just bought like a roll on Amazon that I just cut it myself, which is fine. Still a little
That
slower, but
well, no, that's what I want to do, but I haven't been able to find 3 1/4 inch wide. Um,
yeah.
Cody from Cadence Manufacturing asked, "Have you used the drum sander on 1/8 inch Baltic birch ply, looking for fast ways to sand laser cut material?"
Um, I've never drum sanded plywood.
I have, but only to make it thinner. I messed up one time and had to do that. And
I'm
Brandon says,
sure I'm sure you could drum sand 1/8 inch plywood. I don't see why you
you'd have to,
couldn't, but
you have to be so careful.
yeah, you'd have to have like at least like a very high grit on there, and like because like the veneers are so thin on like plywood that thin, like I don't know. I'm sure that there might be easier or not easier, but like better ways to sand it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're doing and what the sheets are. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Brandon. I know that with all of your Festool tools and all of your high end woodpecker stuff, I'm sorry you can't afford a drum sander. 80 and 120 grit, someone else said. So, yeah, I mean, I can listen. I understand it. I totally love my drum sander. And I do think that that's why I said to that guy who was putting his fishing nets through, it doesn't make sense to me. He, like you're talking about, like Tony's talking about, he shouldn't have a planer. He should be using a drum sander.
Yeah.
So, what's your? That's your most used tool. That's the one that you go to most often, right?
That or my festival sander, because every project I do touches that sander at least once.
Good. I
And I've dropped that thing on the floor more times than I can count. And it's still going.
so after saying all that about the game changer, I will say that using the Festool sand. Okay, so maybe a game changer is going from not having one to having something that changes everything.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'll go with you. It's a game changer if you don't have one. So for people like Brandon who don't have one, um, so I'll trade you. He said. So I I will never forget when I bought my first Festool sander because my elbow hurt from sanding, and my hand would go numb, and I was like, so I was in a
Yeah, because it
motorcycle.
vibrates so much.
Well, I was in a motorcycle accident decades ago. One night, late at night, I made a stupid choice and I wrecked my motorcycle. And this whole arm sometimes would go numb. And it was just terrible trying to use that. And then I got those big ones, the big nasty ones.
Yeah. Been there. I've gotten those before.
Oh my God, so ridiculous. All right. So enough of that. So what else? What do you tell us about your shop setup? Because this is so the reason I started these live maker talks is because I revisited my shop, I changed stuff up, and I sat down and I was doing a live about it, and I said, "Hey, this is what I did. You know, would you like to hear from other type of people?" Oh, we got two questions there, and I'll get those in a minute. Talk to me about your shop layout, your shop setup. Like, do you put
So
planning into it?
no, there's no planning into it like whatsoever. Um, so I'm in a one-car garage, and there's probably enough tools in there to fill a two-car garage, but I make it work. So, on the sides I have on so the doors here, I
Uh,
got the jointer, I got my hand tool wall, my hand my hand planes, my hand saws. Then next to that is the power tool wall, and then I have the miter saw. And I'm trying to remember off my memory, but and then I have the router table. And also I don't have like all of the garage, I have like most of it, but in the back there's like some storage stuff. So
okay.
it's like let's call it like 7/8 of a garage.
Hey, 7/8 of a
And
garage is better than none.
yeah, you're right. And then I got like my drum sander. I have like my clamps. I got my CNC in the back. I got like the shop vac on the floor, and I have like my broken bandsaw on the back. I got to get rid of that, and my broken dust collector in the back. Also have to get rid of that.
Yeah,
And
you need some more space. You can't have those things taking up space.
yep, I do. And then I also have what else do I have? Oh, I have like some like a plastic like one of those plastic like shelves that I keep all of my
Oh, I know
wood
what
on.
you're talking about. Okay. So so couple of good questions. I really Brandon from Cross and Miter again asked this question. I think this is a great one. He goes, and I think you've already answered it, but we're gonna ask it again. What was the most impactful tool you added to your shop?
Um, mm, I mean, it could be a couple of things, but I would definitely say like a good sanding system because the amount of time like I know I spend a lot of time sanding my projects. I'm sure everybody does. But having like a good system that's like pretty much dust free, like a good
Mhm.
sander, something that doesn't like hurt your hand, it's a great
It
addition
is.
to any shop.
Yeah, and that comes back to the Festool. Which do you have, the low one or do you have the tall one?
I have the low one, the
What is that?
ETS 125.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had that for years. And again, I love that. That is a fantastic machine. And I'm going to agree with you 100%. I actually made this suggestion to somebody else earlier because they were asking me about it. If you get anybody listening, everybody out there, the most important thing you can do, Evan just disappeared.
Oh,
Uh, the most important thing you can do, get yourself a good sander, get the vacuum that goes with it. Like Evan
yeah,
was
that's
saying,
important.
right?
It's important. Yeah.
It not only helps obviously your lungs, but the finish on the project, having it plug in and start. Oh man, I love that. I really do.
Yeah. It's something I definitely take for granted. But
Right?
like if I didn't have it, I don't know what I'd do, but I would definitely have to go buy one if I didn't have it. I'm glad I
Well,
have it.
I'm sure when you go to school and you're working in the shop there, what like our shop at school has Ryobi.
Yeah, pretty similar stuff. But I told my shop teacher I'm just gonna bring my box home and sand it. She's like, "Oh, that's fine."
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Because I
Um,
know, because like obviously she wants my projects to be perfect, of course. So I think getting it perfect means bringing it home and sanding it. So
you can't argue with that, and she knows that you know what you're doing, so that's pretty cool. So again, these are two questions that we had, but I want to ask them again. What's your favorite type of wood to work with? There was asked, Brett, but we're going to ask again because it's an important question that I think I
yeah,
100% agree with
it's definitely walnut.
because you can't go wrong with walnut. And
Definitely can't.
uh, and Sklee asked, what was your first sander? So before you got the Festool, what were you using,
Well, I've had a lot of sanders, but my very first one was like a Black and Decker $20 sander from Amazon.
dude? Right there, high five, right there. That's what I had, right?
And I still have it. I still have it. Do I use it? No, but I still have it. And then from there, I had like a Makita sheet sander. I've had some cordless sanders, but I'm not a fan of cordless sanders, to be honest with you.
I don't like them. What is it you don't like about them?
I think they're very heavy. They
Mhm.
don't balance well, and dust collection's horrible. And I just go through way too many batteries to justify it.
Yeah,
Like it's just so
that
much easier
that's.
plugging it in. And the thing is, like, if I can have a vacuum hose, why not just have a cord come out the back too?
I mean, you've got power. There are some tools that I agree. They're the only way to go is cordless. I don't think it makes sense. Do you have a router?
Yeah, I have many. I like my cordless routers.
And now that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was getting at. Which one do you have?
I have a Ryobi one and I have a Greenworks one.
Okay. So I've used the
And
Ryobi. The only thing I didn't like about the Ryobi is with the battery, I feel like it's top heavy.
it is top heavy, but the Greenworks one I have, it's not top heavy and it's brushless and I use it for everything.
Okay.
And
I'll have
then
to
obviously
check.
like I have like the corded like router and I don't know, I've had a lot of routers in the past, like a
I love
lot.
routers.
And
I
of
love,
course I have the corded Makita in the CNC.
right. Do you have a router
That's
table?
I do. And there's like a rigid corded router in there.
All right. I was gonna I was gonna offer to send you one of mine, but you don't need one, so I won't send it to you. Just because I like my little ones that hang on the wall, and I just started making the big ones too.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the content creation side of your woodworking.
Okay. So, I pretty much post everything I make on my Instagram to show people,
Yep.
to teach people, because that's like what I enjoy doing. I like showing people what I'm
Do
up to.
you do you edit the videos, stuff like that? Does your mom do it? Because the momager. How
Yeah,
does it
no,
work for you?
my mom helps me get like my videos to market because it's just hard with everything like filming,
Yeah.
editing, posting, captions. It's a lot, but
Well,
yeah, no,
that's what
my
I'm
mom helps me
saying.
with that.
that's what I was saying earlier about how much time. Like it takes a lot of time to do all the
Does take a lot of
videos.
time.
But
And filming too in the garage, it slows me down so
yeah,
much. So I gotta worry about the angle, if I'm standing in the right place. But if I'm not filming, I can get a project done so quick. Sometimes I wish I just wasn't filming.
does she? Sorry, I was. Hey Tim, there's. I was looking at this. Wow, sorry, I missed a couple of things, comments over here, so I want to come back to them in a minute. Um, does she come and film you when you're doing stuff?
Not really. I usually film my own stuff. Sometimes my
Okay,
dad comes to film some things, but usually just me filming with a tripod.
all right. Do you talk to her about like, hey, when she's editing and stuff? Do you say, hey, I want you to do this angle? Do you look at that, or does she just go and do her own thing?
Sometimes, but she's pretty good at it, so
That's
she
good.
knows.
All right. So hold on. So I had a couple of questions. One, what is your least favorite material to work with, and why is it red oak? But what is your least favorite material to work with?
Um, as much as I love working with epoxy, it's just like rotoring it, just such a pain. Gets everywhere.
I hate it. I hate it.
Like staticky, but other than that, I like working with it. Just I don't like rotoring it.
And I'm allergic to it. So like anytime I'm doing any of that, I've got full face mask. I've got where I got
Yeah, no,
big old goggles I wear.
thankfully, I'm not allergic to it because I use it so much. But um, yeah, it's just a pain cleaning it up too. But it's good.
I
I
hate
like
it.
it.
Um,
It's not
and
stopping me from working with it though.
right, same thing, right? I'm still doing it. Cody again. He asked if you're going to get a spindle for the CNC. Do you want to get one of those? The new fourth
Oh,
axis. Can you hear me?
Logan,
Hello. Yeah, are you there? Hello.
Logan,
Hi.
hello.
Oh, hello. Uh-oh. I wonder what's going on. Hey, can you hear me now? Nope. Oh, he left. Hopefully he'll come back in just a minute. So some great questions. Brett, he was playing with regular cards, so we're gonna see. Oh, there he is. Hold on a sec. He's back.
Oh, Logan.
Hey, there you are, buddy.
Sorry, I don't know what just happened. It just like kicked me off for a second.
Yeah, you froze up for a sec. So Cody was asking if you're gonna get a fourth axis spindle for your CNC.
Maybe we'll see. That'd be pretty
Uh,
cool.
I
I don't know
don't
how
know.
often I would use it, but
See,
there's
that's
definitely
the
some
thing.
cool things I could make with it.
I wouldn't mind it. I just don't see the point in like for me. It's just not something I would use really.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
No. Brett asked off topic, but it looks like you collect sports cards. Do you have a favorite card in your collection?
Um, so I don't really collect sports cards anymore, but when I was younger, me and my dad we used to be really into like the sports cards and memorabilia and that type of thing.
Okay. What kind of sports cards? Just
Oh, I
all of them?
think maybe it's because there's like the uncut sheet of cards in the background there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I see.
it's cool. But I don't really
Um,
have a favorite card, but
okay. So back to this stuff. Just there's a couple other things I'm thinking about, and I want to ask. What is your favorite thing about woodworking? What is it that like I know you love woodworking. Everybody knows you love that, right?
yeah.
What is it that really gets you and gets you going, and why do you love it?
I just like being able to think of something in my head and like within a couple moments, like like done, like just I just made that. Like I just like bringing my ideas into real life. I think
It's,
that's pretty cool. And I
so
like I like all the things that come with that, like the challenges, the issues, like problem solving. I enjoy like every step of something I build.
that's how I feel too, and I think it's interesting. But when you're looking at things, do you break it down in your head? Say, I'm going to do this with the laser, and I'm going to do this with the C. Like this, is it immediate that you're going, oh, I'm going to do this?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Like I
I
know,
like.
here's an example. Like I think it was like, maybe 2 years ago. I was building like this like bar table for a client, and he's like, "Yeah, I want like some big round legs, and I was like, I'm gonna connect those to the apron with sliding dovetails. I just
That's
boom,
awesome.
I just already thought of it.
I love that. So Higgy Hose has to go to bed. He says it's 12:45 in Scotland. It's
Oh
people from
man,
Scotland watching, right? That's if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go right now?
probably Italy,
I would
Rome.
like. What didn't you go there last year? Or
Yeah, I was there in the summer, and it was just amazing. I loved it.
dude,
I would go back there right the second.
dude, I hate you for that because that's my dream right there. That's one of the places I have always wanted to go.
Yeah, no, it was awesome seeing the Colosseum at night, seeing all the tourist attractions. The food there was so good.
Yeah. Like I can't. That's that always to me. It's just like I imagine how amazing it's going to be, but it's also the history that's in
Yeah,
everything there.
it's awesome. There's wherever you look, there's a food that's 500 years old. That was built by the ancient Romans. I was like, why? It's just so cool.
I would like to do that. I also would like to go to Scotland, though. I would Scotland, Ireland. I would like to do that.
Yeah,
All right. So what what do you do if you get frustrated? If you're having a problem with a project, how do you stay inspired? How do you move forward?
and just take that challenge personally. I'm like, I need to get past this. What can I do? You know, I just won't stop until I figure it out.
All right, that's a fair point. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of times people will move away from projects and they're like, I need to focus on something else. So it's
I mean,
interesting.
yeah, like a little break's always good. Little snack break.
Yeah, snacks are always good. What's your
Yeah.
favorite snack?
Um, Definitely chocolate.
Mm, you know what I like? I like chocolate and peanut butter.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like
Like yeah,
peanut butter cups, like Reese's peanut
I,
butter cups.
I like peanut butter cups. I've taken like if I didn't have that, I've just taken chocolate bars and
Yeah,
put on 15 pounds in the past however many years.
that's all
All
right.
right. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be 52 next week, so I can live with it. Um,
Yeah.
and again, for everyone who's on right now and wasn't on earlier, there will be no show next week because it's my 52nd birthday next Tuesday. I'm catching up to Tony Peps. Next Thursday, sorry, will be my 52nd birthday. Someday I'll be as old as Tony, but probably not. Where would you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes to peanut butter cups. That's what I heard. Where would you like to be in 5 years? Let's go with 5 years, because this
I'm
actually leads me to my next question.
well, I think is like I'm not sure what I even want to do in 5 years. Like, and a lot of kids they don't know what they want to do tomorrow. I don't
Oh,
even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. But it's just like it's more kind of like a wait and see kind of thing. But I'll definitely be in university. I'll probably be just in 5 years. I think I'll be last year of university. I think something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'll be in university, but I'll still. I mean, I think I said this on um I just said this on a different podcast I was doing a little while ago, but there will always be an Evans workshop in some way, shape, or form, whether it's my full-time profession, it's a side hobby, it's like a side hustle, it's a hobby, it's a this, it's a
Well,
this, it's a that. But it'll always be part of my life in one way. I'm just not sure what that way is going to be yet.
so have you given thought to doing this after you graduate and go into school for it full
Yeah,
time?
I mean, of course, because I have like this great opportunity right in front of me that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could definitely turn into a full-time thing. I just don't know what I want to do yet. And a lot of kids don't
right.
know what they want to do.
Well, I listen, man. I'm with kids all day long, right? I know this. Brian Boneyboard, I don't think I like you. He posted. He goes, Evan will be graduating college, and Logan will be. Actually, I'll be retired by then. Um, listen, I was telling you earlier. I had a couple kids in my class the other day. They're talking. One of the kids was talking about going to the Marines, and then the next day, I don't want to go in the Marines. I don't, you know. So he's going to go get a job, working full time. making glasses and doing stuff like that. It's tough. I joined the Navy because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and a
But
lot of kids don't know what
you,
they want to do, and I mean, you experience that firsthand as a teacher.
yep. So I agree. Like I think it's great, but I love the idea that you do have an opportunity. Yeah. So he apologized to me for being a jerk. Um, you have an opportunity here, and I just it's got to be tough on you to look at that opportunity and be like, I have a path and something I care about.
Yep.
You that's what I wonder and I think about for you right there. So Brett asked, "What's your skill level at the CNC, and where did you learn and continue to grow?" Which is also very very valid.
My skill level with the CNC is very low. I'm still learning the software. I've been learning it for a while, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. Like I was just using it today to make the cup holder inserts for the poker table, which trust me, it's not that's not that hard to program. It's 8 circles, but but
Yeah.
it's still always a learning curve.
Which software are
But
you using?
Carveco,
Okay. Yeah.
Maker, yeah, Carveco Maker. I use that. I find that pretty easy to use. It's good, and yeah, I mean we'll see. But
I do like I like Carveco. Ryan says hi. Nick from
all right,
City Woods says that you're the man, and Emma says our mom. I forget your first name. I'm sorry. Our son's name is Evan, and he's 10. It's amazing how well spoken this young man is. That's because
thank
you've
you. I
been doing this
appreciate
for a
that.
while, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I'm still
Um,
learning. Always
well, yeah.
learning.
Well, I remember sitting down with you at Maker Camp. God, you were 14 then?
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago already. Well, I
Ooh.
might have been 15. I don't even
Yeah.
remember.
I can't wait to go back to Maker Camp. I wish it was
Yeah,
right
me
now.
too. I'm gonna be there this year. I'm excited. Me and my dad are excited to go back.
Heck yeah. Well, your dad always has a good time there.
Oh yeah.
No video to show. Thank you, Aaron. I'm sorry. Um, you no video to show your mom, right?
Yep. Nope. Yeah, no,
All
we'll
right.
have fun there.
So just you're now coming up to your senior year. I think you're gonna have to make a senior year something special, right?
Oh yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't know what's gonna be yet, but we'll see.
That's it's tough, man. It's tough. We got to celebrate your birthday at WBC. Oh my god, that'd be
Yeah.
crazy. That would be to have your 18th birthday there.
Hopefully they have one next year. 'Cause I'll be there.
I don't know. Have you heard anything?
I don't know anything. I don't know more than you. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully.
Well,
It's gotta go on. Everybody's gotta be able to go. But
so as we're coming up on time here, I want to ask you, and I want you to think if you could tell as a 17-year-old you talking to, let's go with a 12-year-old too, right? 12-year
oh
old
man,
you,
that'd be a crazy conversation.
right?
That would be
What
that'd be
what
something
would you
crazy.
say? What would you tell yourself?
Stay on it, keep doing it. Don't doubt yourself. Go outside your comfort zone. It's okay to make mistakes. You're still learning. You're still a kid, and I'm still a kid now. I mean, I'm 17. I'm still a kid. It's not as young, but I still tell myself those things. Like it's okay to mess up. It's a learning opportunity, and keep learning. I like learning. That's why I like woodworking because I'm always learning something new. But make some crazy stuff. Um, keep posting. Yeah, that's
You
about
know
it.
what?
Oh, and I would
Let's
tell myself to get rid of the side part, but
the side part.
yeah, no.
Listen.
When I was younger, I used to have a side part. It was pretty bad. I used to gel it every morning.
Oh
But
my God. Yeah, we've all had. Trust me, we've all
yeah,
had hair issues. But this brings up an interesting idea to me, and I'm curious your thoughts on it. You're 17 years old. One of the problems that we know in kids, always in kids, is self-esteem, trust in themselves.
yep.
How has woodworking helped improve your self-esteem and your ability sort of to look at things that are happening and not take them personally and as an attack. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of the problems
Yeah,
that I think a lot of kids
yeah.
have.
Um, I mean, it's a good question actually. It's a very good question. Um, it definitely, I guess, like helps like overall for sure, because like it really teaches me to be tough and to really think about things, from like a logical perspective, and um, like everything. There's always something you can learn from every given moment, and yeah, I mean, like mistakes are good. I like making mistakes because I always learn from them.
See, that's always my biggest thing. I love hearing that. Um, I think that's the most important. Nick from Stated Woods said that you should stay away from ladies, or that was what you would tell yourself. I think there's someone for Nick that might not like to hear him say that. Um, but listen, my personal belief, the thing I always push, the thing I always say is that mistakes are an important part of learning. If you don't make a mistake, you'll never know what to do when something goes wrong.
Exactly. They prepare you.
So, right. So, so thinking about that, because this I think is something very different for many of us. How does this help you? That mindset. How does it help you be more successful in school?
Um, because I mean, it helps in school because I make mistakes on like my math all the time or like my
Mhm.
accounting work. I just gotta learn what to do for the next time and not to give up.
Well, there you go. There you go. As they say, out of the mouths of babes. Wise beyond your years, there, dude, and he's a great kid. So, I mean, I agree. Like that, you have more understanding of that than some 30, 40 year olds that I know, right? So if you could write a book tomorrow, what would you write a book about?
Oh man, I'm a horrible writer.
I think that's given up on the answer. That's
If I had to
good.
write a book, then um, what am I writing about again?
If you could write a book tomorrow, if tomorrow I said, hey, you know what? You're going to stop going to school and you're going to write a book, what would you write about?
I mean, probably
What would be the book?
woodworking. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. Because I mean, I guess woodworking because like I'm very knowledgeable about it and I know a lot about it, and I could
But
definitely.
that's a huge. When you say woodworking, that's a mile wide, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, so if you were to write about something in woodworking, what
Has to
might
be.
you write
It'd have
about?
to be. Um, I mean, I have to
Well,
think. What am I good at? Because things I'm good at, I'm very knowledgeable about. So maybe like some like epoxy or maybe I don't know.
okay, talk about. You could definitely talk about your designs, right? How you think through designs, how you mentally prepare to build stuff,
Yeah,
right?
I mean
Because you.
that's actually good. It'd be a very short book though.
What about your giving back, right? You could write a book about that.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think when we're talking about, one of the things I've gotten from you is your design ideas are things that come up in your head and you figure out a way to execute them immediately. And I
yeah.
think that's
I
really
like
important.
I like to come up with things that I've never seen before. Because I think that's like what really separates me from like other, like other like just take the blackjack table for example. Like I've never seen something like that. I thought that was really cool, and when that idea like dawned upon me, I was like, I got to do this. So
I like that. I like that a lot. All
yeah,
right. And I do like, I love how much you help others. As Sklee says, it's all about. It really is. It's about helping others, about making a difference in other people's lives. And you're definitely doing that, as evidenced by, again, the Inspiration Award at Workbench, which is an incredible honor and well deserved. And I just want to congratulate you again because, dude, I think it's
thank you,
great.
thank
Um,
you, Logan.
Oh
But yeah,
man,
no, I like to help as much as I can along the way, because by helping others, um, it just I don't know, it just makes me feel good. So it's good.
that's fair. Well, I'm gonna call it at an hour. I'm gonna sit down. You and I are gonna talk for just a minute afterwards. I want to thank everyone here.
Yep.
And,
Thanks to everybody for tuning in and
yeah,
listening to me talk for an hour.
they enjoyed it, even with your raspy voice.
Yeah, my thick voice.
This is
Thanks,
what
thanks
happens.
everybody.
Kids these days smoking cigarettes.
No, no, no.
I know that. I'm just kidding. And thanks everyone over on Instagram. Good night. And then
And
I'm
everybody,
gonna
thanks so much for joining.
end here. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Joe, Sklee, Tony, all you guys. Appreciate you. Good night.